I'm so excited to speak to our guest today. She's a physician associate from Houston. Please help me to introduce Simone.
Hi, thanks for having me today, Jonathan.
Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm super excited.
Yes, yes. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Jonathan McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go.
So, like I was telling you a little bit behind the scenes, I'm actually living in South Florida right now. My company's based out of South Florida, and you're in the Houston area. Tell me, how is the aesthetic industry in that area?
Wow, Houston is such a huge market. I mean, there's probably a medical spa or somewhere that does Botox, fillers, things like that within a mile of each other. So probably every intersection you can find some sort of injectables kind of place or skincare, anything like that. So Houston is a huge market. There's a lot of people in the city. We're the fourth largest city, of course.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of options when you come down and want to have some kind of cosmetic services.
Nice, nice. What are the trends that are happening right there in that area?
Oh man, the trends I would have to say are overdone. That's the thing. Everybody wants this huge lip or this edged out jawline. So I think that that overdone kind of look is huge here in Houston. And that is something that we don't do here a lot. We like fresh, not frozen. We like natural enhancements, like subtle things. Um, so you can kind of like look and feel your best without like, girl, what did you do? So but Houston is, everything's big here,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. And so let's go back to the beginning a little bit more. When you were deciding whether you wanted to go to school and what you wanted to be, I know PAs and NPs share a lot of the same qualities.
Yes,
What made you want to be a PA or go into the PA program?
great question. So I wanted to be a PA because I kind of wanted to be able to, one, practice wherever in any capacity. I didn't want to have to specialize.
Yeah.
So oftentimes, sometimes NP have to be like a family nurse practitioner or acute care nurse practitioner. And I knew I wanted to do surgery. So I started off in the operating room, which was amazing. And I knew I could be a first assist as a PA. So it was just great to get started fresh out of PA school without having to go and take any other classes, residencies. After I passed my boards, it was hit the ground running. So it was amazing to be able to be a PA in this space. And I love the laterality of being a PA. So I started in surgery, general surgery, and pediatrics. Then I went to plastic surgery in adults, and then dermatology and med spa. So just the laterality to be able to switch what I want to do, get that on the job training, and learn and grow.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a lot of steps to kind of get what you wanted to be. What kept you going during that time? Like, what was the motivation?
I think the motivation was mostly my family. Like, I'm the only one who went to school in my family. So it was great to now watch my younger siblings be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that, and be able to, like, I have a full basketball scholarship at Tennessee State.
Oh,
For undergrad. So I started there, and then to come out of that debt free and then move on to the next thing has been truly a blessing from God. So I think the motivation 100% is my family. They drive me, and then just having a great support system.
super cool, super cool. So how hard was it? Tell me a little bit how hard or was it easy getting into the aesthetic industry after like tell me how hard that was, getting finding a job, getting out of college, things of that nature.
Okay, so out of college, well, during PA school, we do a series of clinical rotations. In one of my clinical rotations, I knew that I wanted to do surgery, so I made sure that my surgery rotations were heavy, including plastic surgery. So I kind of got introduced to the injectable side of medicine during my plastic surgery rotation. So I use that as leverage when I started applying for jobs. One, I started out as a ortho general surgery PA at a hospital. And then so I was trying to find supplemental income. So I started to get into injectables. I literally applied everywhere. No one would hire me. So I was like, okay, let me try a different route. So I tried calling all around Houston to different doctors, med spas. I'm like, look, can I just shadow you? I don't want anything. You don't have to pay me. I don't even have to come often. I come once a week, just to shadow. Only one doctor in the Houston area said yes. And we built that relationship. So now he's my medical director here. I work with him hand in hand, but he was the only one who said yes. So he started allowing me to come shadow. And then, of course, training opportunities happen from there from different drug reps. And then I started paying for some trainings just to show that I'm invested in myself. So why can't you invest in me as well? And then from there, I was able to get on with a concierge spa here in Houston, and it just took off.
I love that you said that because it's the perseverance that you kept going, even though, and I'm sure, I don't know how many calls you made, but I'm sure you made so many calls to call every doctor, see who was gonna help you out. And that's what I tell people. You gotta do those steps if you really want it.
I think that this industry is very closed off.
Yeah.
And very, oh, I need to harbor everything that I know, or they feel competition. And I'm huge on community over competition because it is very important. You can't take those things with you when you die. You're like 90 years old, man. Like, help the next person coming up. So I want to be a voice for that as well. So I do some training courses on my own, and then I allow those people shadow days because somebody had to help me, and I want to be able to, extend that same grace to others.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that also. Is that big in Houston? Do a lot of the injectors know each other? Is there a community there?
I don't think the community is as tight as it can be, knowing how many places are here. I remember one time I was interviewing for one place and I told them, I do trainings, and they told me like they frowned upon that because I could be training my competition or, somebody to take my clientele. And I was like, my clients come to me because one, I provide great results, but because I'm personable. We have a relationship.
Yeah.
And if they decide to go somewhere else, then there's somebody else on the back end. It's so many people, but yeah, I don't think that the injectors in this city are as tight of a group as we could be.
No, I definitely can understand that. I definitely understand that. I think, definitely, and personally, I'm trying to build that more of a community sense against all the injectors, just because there's so much knowledge you can learn from each other and build a brand. When I look at the market statistics, even behind the scenes, like there's so many clients in the population of people you can treat, and not enough providers, honestly, in this industry.
Agreed.
So it's actually upside down right now. So there's definitely a room for everybody to grow, for sure.
I agree, 100%. And I think once we come together and be inclusive and understanding of that, then our businesses will grow. Because we'll have better knowledge of the industry, we'll have better knowledge of injectables as a whole, business-wise and injection-wise, and it'll just help us grow. We'll have that support system to like, hey, okay, you had an adverse reaction. Okay, boom, this is what I would normally do. How about you try this? Just those ideas. It's like PA school all over again. If I study by myself, I wouldn't do as well on the test as if I studied with a group of people.
Yeah.
Because the way you think and the way I think are different. And then so hearing those things can kind of alter our mindset.
Nice, nice. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Instagram, right? And I know Instagram has built so much. It's literally like a commercial and an ad and like your billboard all together. Tell me how has that helped your career, and is that most of your clientele, or is it mostly based off of word of mouth?
I think there has been probably more so word of mouth has been my clientele, but I had to start somewhere, which was family, friends, and Instagram. So if people share my posts, like my posts, some paid ads, oftentimes Instagram's algorithm is a little tricky. Sometimes they for you, sometimes they against you, sometimes they want you to pay. So I think it has been amazing because when people go to my Instagram, Aesthetics, HTX, they see a storefront, right? So they see some before and afters, they see some information about our services, about what we offer, but then they also see my staff, they see me. So it's very personable, which makes them feel more invited. It's just not this cold blanket sheet of Instagram. So having a good mix of a little of everything has been literally probably my bread and butter. And so when we have people come in, even if they've seen the ad or from Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media marketing that you want to use, they always bring that picture like, oh, I seen this picture and this is how I want to look. So it has been a great virtual portfolio.
Yeah, yeah. What's your brand and how did you go about making a brand by chance?
I started building my brand off of my mission and what I wanted to see in this industry. So when I started injecting, everybody would always tell me, oh, Black women don't get this stuff. This is not a thing for Black women. And I'm like, they're like, Black don't crack. I'm like, yeah, because I help it not to. They just don't want to show. They're getting it done. They just don't want it to be as publicized as other races, which is okay. So being able to kind of my brand was based on, hey, I want everybody to know that this is okay, number one. Number two, there are realistic results with this. Not everybody has to look like everybody else, has to look overdone, has to look unlike themselves. So that's what I built my brand on, and that's how Queen Aesthetics came about. My nickname is Queen, but here at Queen Aesthetics, it's the royal treatment for everybody. It doesn't matter, big or small, whoever you are, you're gonna come here, you're gonna receive great treatment, great outcomes that are tailored specifically for you.
That's dope. That's really cool because it's that white glove service that makes everybody feel at home. So they want to come back. They want to, know what
So
you
my friends.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you recommend to your clients right now? What are some procedures, some things that you feel as though you've been recommending lately?
Skincare. Skincare, from especially sunscreen. Everybody's like, oh, I don't go outside that much. It doesn't matter. You should be wearing sunscreen every single day. And so the skincare, because everybody comes and wants these injectables, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can iron your sheets, but you have to wash them, right? So the skincare, the monthly facials, microneedling, whatever is needed, plus your at-home regimen is going to enhance everything that I can do on my end. It's like a two-way street. It's a relationship. And I want to build that relationship up to the point where even when you're at home and you like, man, I don't feel like doing my skin routine today. You see me in your head like, oh, someone will be upset with me, So skincare, sunscreen, and then injectables and everything else behind that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it is that compilation, right? Like you said, if you don't do one, you can't do the other. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. It's like going to a football game and not going to tailgate. Are you really having a good time?
Exactly. You get the whole experience for sure.
Right.
So let's talk about your business for a bit. Tell me, what is your business name and when did you start it by chance?
Yeah, so Queen Aesthetics was born in 2020. So we opened our brick and mortar last year, November 2021. And so we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary. Super excited about that. But like I said, Queen Aesthetics was founded with like the total person in mind, man, woman, boy, girl, it doesn't matter. And who just wants that white glove service, treated like royalty. It's just like an oasis from an already busy life that we have.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then it helps that you look good after.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations on that, honestly, because I know it's hard starting a business. Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy to get started, but once you do it, even though it can be daunting and you can have good days, bad days, ups and downs, it's always worth it.
Yeah,
always.
For sure. What are the services that you guys offer?
Yeah, so we offer everything. So starting with skincare from our signature luxurious facial that's customized and tailored depending on your needs. And then micro needling. We offer alcohol facials, dermaplaning, and then injectables from toxin or anti-wrinkle treatments to fillers, lips, you name a place to put filler, we can put it there on label. Um, and also PDO threads. We do O shots for vaginal rejuvenation. We do hair restoration with PRP. And then we also offer IV therapy for wellness, medical weight loss, and then body contouring for like people who are post-operative, lipo, tummy tucks, BBLs, things like that.
Wow, amazing. That's a wide range of services for sure.
Yeah,
For sure, for sure.
we definitely do a lot. And I think the service that we do the most of would probably be the fillers and facials.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So it shows it's still prominent all over the area because like down here is overload, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about the ups and downs of your business. What were some of the most challenging parts in the beginning and how did you overcome that?
I think the most challenging parts in the beginning is kind of getting access to funding or capital. We're
Mhm.
completely self-funded, and especially being a woman of color, they want this. It's like trying to get into the industry, right? Everybody wants 2 years of experience. They want 2 years of profit and loss statements, or showing that you're making some kind of money. But if I have a new business, how can I provide that for you?
Mhm.
So I think that's one thing, funding, and then also building the clientele, right? So if you when you first get started, I already had a little clientele who already knew about me, had created a little buzz. So when I did my grand opening, it just kind of spread like wildfire, which was amazing. God did that. And other than funding and clientele, and then overcoming those hurdles would be one, saving as much as you can, starting small. You don't have to get this huge place. Everybody I see is like, oh, I need 3 rooms. It's like, why do you need 3 rooms right now? It's okay to start small and scale up as long as you start. As long the faster you start, the more time you have to get your stuff together. And then also with the clientele, I did a lot of pro bono in the beginning. I purchased those products outright, or I tried to get some trainings and get some free products. And then I did my family. My family sold their family, my family sold the rest of my family, who told their friends. And that's how, and then I was able to charge my worth. So
Mm.
sometimes you just got to be willing to maybe not even pro bono, but maybe do a discounted rate. Once you start getting that clientele, getting those pictures, those before and afters will really sell those people on what you can do. I can tell you I'm great at this stuff all the time, but until I show you that I'm really good at it, then you're a little skeptical of me.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's definitely true. Definitely, definitely true. I want to go into one of the points you just said. So you said you asked your family and friends, which I always recommend first to get that those before and afters and to build your work. But with the stigma being around it, how did you get them to come in and kind of try the stuff?
How did I get them to try to do it? And how did I get them to allow me to take pictures of it? I think that was amazing. They were down to do it. But when it
Yeah,
came to the picture, they were like, oh no. I'm like, okay, I can't do it. But
yeah.
I kind of explained that, okay, let me take out some identifying factors. Let me black out your eyes, or only show your forehead, or only show your lips or your cheeks, things like that. And so more so it was my friends who were more apt to like, yeah, let's try it out. My family was a little more skeptical because they said those same things like, that's not what, Black women don't get that. My dad, he was like, no, man, I'm not doing that. That's not what I do. It's like, well, that deep wrinkle is telling me that you need something.
Yeah.
And so to be able to kind of convince them in a sense, which I guess you have to be a good salesperson, or not even a salesperson, because I don't like to have a pitch, but I like to get the facts. Let me tell you why you need me, and then let me also tell you the consequences of not having me in your
Mm, I like that. I like
life. So
that.
when I told my my mom, She was like, okay, yeah, I can do it. And I was like, okay, well, I need your pictures. She was like, I say, okay, well, if I don't get your pictures, then you won't be able to do it. And then that line is gonna get deeper. Your chin is gonna get saggier. Like it's not gonna look good. And you already don't want, your grandkids calling you grandmother, but you're gonna look like. So I just went on a spiel.
I like that. I like that. That's great technique. Great technique. For sure. For sure. For sure. So tell me, how did you build a team? Like, how did you build out your team in your spot?
So I started in the beginning, it was me and then my sister who's older than me, she really helped me a lot on the business side. So she was really my first teammate and she didn't even know it. So she helped me a lot on the business side, getting the standard operating policies and procedures. Like she was diligent about that. And so that meant a lot to me. So when I brought her on board as a co-founder of my business, she kind of helped elevate in that sense.
Nice.
So on the business side. And then when I tried to build a team of clinicians and practitioners, I focus more so on their character and not so much their experience. I can teach you the experience, but character and being on time and your diligence, those things I can't teach. So when I was doing interviews and everything, I had them come in for a shadow day, just like, hey, come in, watch, let's talk. And that really showed me a lot about people's character, about their timeliness, about their organization. And I didn't care if you had 1 year experience or 2 years experience because I was going to teach you the methods and the ways we do things here anyway. So I think when you take out these time strengths and these like you have to have 2 to 5 years experience, it really opened me up to get some quality people that were very moldable and willing to learn.
Yeah, I love how you said that because I even tell companies when I work with them, it's not really about the length of time, especially even for like when I speak to about injectors, right?
Yeah.
If you have a skill set that you've been practicing and you've seen 40 people or 30 people a day for the span of a year, then you take somebody that's seeing maybe 5 people a day for a span of 5 years or 3 years, it's they're not going to be the same, even though
I
they've
agree.
been for longer. So I think people do need to take out that time span and really focus on who that person is and what can they bring to the table.
I agree. And then you think about it too, it's like if everybody wants this time span, who's willing to give somebody with no time, a chance? And that's where I kind of struggle getting into this industry as well. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, we only look for at least 2 years of experience. And it's like, okay, if everybody wants experience, who's going to give it to me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No.
And I think I showed that I was willing to do the work on my own, which kind of opened up a few more doors for me because then I had those people, my MD at the time, to vouch for me. Like I made him one of my references. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I love her. So I
How
think we
big?
take out that time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree. How big is that relationship with your collaborating physician?
It is the most important relationship that I have in business. The most important. We, of course, at this point now, I mean, I've been knowing him since I've been a PA 6 years at this point, but um, when I was about to open my own thing last year, he was on board 100%. He was fully for it. I was like, do you mind being my, like, I got nervous in the beginning. Like, oh man, should I ask him? What do I think? He said, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Wow.
And so I thought originally, because I would go to his place and I would inject there some of my clientele while I was in between like med spas or something. And he was always right there. And so to be able to have that fighting person in my corner, being a plastic surgeon, helping him in the operating room, also helping him with his injections or whatever he needs, building that loyalty with him has been the most important relationship right now in this business.
Wow. Wow. That says a lot. That says a lot for sure. And I'm sure our other injectors, when they pick a collaborating physician, they'll take that in consideration because
Right.
it's big.
Yeah. And then he has that knowledge on the plastic side.
Mm.
And I have a great referral. If I know I can't help you, you might need a facelift or something else, I can refer to him. And then also, He has been easy to contact. Like those are things you want to think about. How can I get in touch with you? Are you going to make sure these charts are signed in a timely manner? Things like that, and just not see money, because I think that a lot of people do.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now on Instagram, I've been seeing a lot about vascular occlusions. Tell me, what are your opinion on those, and kind of how often this stuff like that can happen?
Yeah, so vascular occlusions are a real thing, and it is scary as both a patient and a provider, right? Because you see this happening in real time. It's like you don't want to be frantic in front of your client, but then you also know that you're on a time crunch and that you need to get things done. I think the best thing is having a protocol in place and making sure you have every part of that protocol in your office. The dissolver, Hydronex, whatever, can be expensive, especially as a new provider, but that is something that you need to make sure you have multiple vials of. Sometimes you might never need it, but you never want to need it and not have it.
Mm.
So it's been extremely important to everybody's like, oh, understanding the anatomy and where the vessels are. And I 99% agree. But you have to think about the torcity of those vessels, or the difference. Somebody who's had a facelift can be different than somebody who hasn't, and where those vessels lie. You know, a general area where they come out, or the general area where they're supposed to be, but it's not always like that. So keep it in mind that there are deviations. There are different places where you can start to inject, and you aspirate, and you don't think you're going to get anything back, and then you get a flash.
Yeah.
So being cognizant that there's no one size fits all, there's no cookie cutter when it comes to injectables, but knowing the anatomy and understanding that there are deviations will be your saving grace.
Nice, nice. Now I've been seeing also the 6 months Botox, Daxify, I believe that's what's called.
I've
Tell me
seen
a little
that
bit
too.
about your thoughts on that.
I've seen that as well. The only thing that I have about putting time constraints or time expectations on things is that when it doesn't meet that expectation, we have to deal with the backlash. We have to deal with those clients, like we can say up to 6 months, but it's been like 6 months, 6 months. They see that. Just like a household name, Botox, Botox, that's what they see. That's what they come in and ask for. So I think that the media can do a better job of changing the verbiage around it. Like 6 months, and then letting people know that this product is going to be a little more expensive because I'm not seeing you as much, because it might last you a little longer, because you might not feel as apt to come in, and do some of the other services or do some of the other things. So the price tag and the duration are going to be kind of key right now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And also, can't like the metabolism of each person, it really determines how long the Botox lasts, right? Or the
The metabolism is cleaving that protein, and so it is so different. Like sometimes Botox, I have a client who their Botox doesn't even last, I would say, a good 8 weeks. If we tried all the other ones, all the other toxins, and those do nothing. And then that starts they're recruiting muscles from other places. It's just a headache. So it's just something to think about. But it's exciting. I love new things and trying new things and always expanding my palette and what I can and can't do. So I think it's exciting, especially if it's FDA approved. We only do FDA approved things here. So I think it's an exciting time.
nice, nice, for sure, for sure. Now in the Houston area or in your practice, are you seeing more men come in, or is it just all women? Or tell me a little bit about the demographic.
I would say my practice is about 80% women and 20% men. And the men, they love their facials, they love getting their skincare together. And some of them will do injectables 100%, but that's not their main priority.
Gotcha.
And when I have my esthetician doing their facial, I'm like, tell them they need some. Look, this is not just a one sex thing. Okay, everybody likes to be rejuvenated and look and feel their best, and that's why I like to focus on natural results, because I think a lot of men, even they tell me I don't want to be walking around with my eyes wide and I can't move, and it's like it's not that.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a stigma that
Yes.
don't catch on soon later on, but it'll catch on for sure for the guys.
I hope they catch on because everybody's like, oh, men love younger women. We don't like no old looking men either. You have to keep your face together. When you look good, you feel good.
I agree. I agree. How big is continuous education for you?
Oh man, I think that is the mainstay of this practice. You know, when people put you in a box, I think you become complacent and you get stuck. So when you're continuously learning and growing your skill set and your understanding of things, it decreases your risk of vascular occlusions or adverse reactions, and then it just increases your confidence in what you know and how to do it and how to circumvent and how to treat things. So I probably I try to do 2 conferences a year. I think this previous year has been the least amount of conference time that I've been able to go to trying to build this business. But I'm always doing continuing medical education from the drug reps or the drug companies that make these continuing educations, especially cannulas, just trying new things and different things. And then as a PA, doing my continuing education courses in general medicine and surgery.
Is there any maybe conferences or even courses or trainings you can recommend?
Yeah, so the one of the conferences that I went to that I had an amazing time at, it was a small knit or a closed group, like only 30 people, was called Aesthetics by Jen.
Okay.
And I think what they're doing is amazing. They really have this science down. They bring in some of the top people to kind of show and learn, but then the group is so small, so you can ask questions. It's more like a intimate setting. That
Nice.
is one of my favorite ones. And then my continuing education courses, of course, I like to do all of the allergen trainings. I, Me and allergen should, go together at this point. But then utilize those drug reps as well,
Yeah.
because they'll get you in those rooms. I mean, everybody knows about like the online stuff, but they do a lot of in-person private things one-on-one. Like hands down, it's been the best for this practice.
So the reps are key to really, I guess, a great career.
Yeah, they are. They can get you what you need. They can help you when you want to learn. They can put you in those rooms. Um, I literally just signed um, a contract with Allergan to, speak about diversity in aesthetic medicine
Amazing.
and growth.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so I mean, but that probably wouldn't have happened if my rep wasn't pushing for me as well. She's seen what I can do, and I was like, okay, girl, yeah, you're right. So she, opening those doors and helping me a lot.
That's really cool. Yeah, I was listening to the radio the other day and I heard like a commercial of a pharmaceutical company that was pushing, I think it was Juvederm. And it thought in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, that makes sense because they're actually advertising you guys, right?
Yeah,
They have to sell their product and you guys are the people that know how to implement the product.
I
So
agree.
it's crazy how that works, but it's interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, I think God has been extremely good in being strategic with me and this business and putting those pieces in place.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm amazed.
Now, all this stuff can be so tedious, so stressful. I mean, you're working, you're doing everything, and then you got your business, all that stuff. What are some things you do to kind of unwind, release stress, things outside of work?
Besides wine, I'm kidding. I love to work out. I mean, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, and then I work
Oh,
out at 6 a.m. And I think that kind of having that alone time in the morning has changed my mindset throughout the day. I don't feel so rushed. I don't feel like I gotta get up, I gotta do this. I work out, I wake up, I pray, read, work out, and then my day just kind of flows. You know, I'm not pressed about anything, I can do my marketing, I can, get the things done for the business before my clientele actually starts at 10 a.m. So working out, I love massages, and I love traveling.
Mm.
So
Where?
when COVID happened, oh my goodness, I was so hurt. COVID tried to ruin me, but I was still working at the hospital at that time. So they had travel restrictions. But my favorite place that I've been is maybe Greece or Cairo, Egypt. Either Egypt or Greece, Santorini. I don't know. I like them both.
Those are dope. It's very cool. Very, very cool. Always travel. Where do you want to go? What's next?
I really, honestly, and truly, I want to go to Bali. I've been
Mm.
trying to get to Bali. I had paid my trip, everything for late 2020, early 2021. Had to cancel, so I'm still trying to find my way back there.
Yes, yes, that's gonna be a very nice trip.
What about you? Where you trying to go?
I want to go to Dubai, and I want to do also this place called Anguilla.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
like Anguilla. Well, I didn't go to Anguilla, but I've seen all the pictures.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. I want to do
Yeah,
that for sure.
it's gonna be amazing.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Tell me some people on social media maybe that you follow that would be a good fit for other people to learn from, to follow, things like that.
Yeah, I love um April. So Numi Aesthetics, NWME Aesthetics. That's April at Numi Aesthetics. She's in Dallas, Texas. She's amazing. Um, she's a great injector and business owner as well. And also she's a soror, so I love her. And then Ronnie is Nurse Ronnie B at Nurse Ronnie B. She's in Chicago, another amazing Black woman doing great things. She's huge with laser tattoo removal. She's great with lasers, like that. She has the her skin in the game there.
Yeah.
And then I love Beautify Fairy. Or is it still Beautify Fairy? Her name is Audrey Rose, and she's out in New Hampshire, Massachusetts area.
Yeah.
And she's great. Like she's always on panels. She's big on pushing the diversity piece as well. And then lastly, I would have to say the Plastic MP. She's in Dallas as well.
Wow.
And she's the owner, or she's one of the owners of Cult Aesthetics. And she originally invited me to be a part of their photo shoot when they first started. Like she found me on Instagram. She was like, I love what you're doing. Like, let's connect. And I love that inclusion in that community sense that she tried to bring.
Yes, for sure, for sure. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Simone, for joining me and talking more about the aesthetic industry. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you got planned next.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Queen QUEEN .aesthetics AESTHETICSHTX, which is short for Houston, Texas. And then also www.queenaesthetics.net. And we are looking to hopefully expand here in the near future. So from the central Houston Galleria area to like the Woodlands. So we're trying to, build this team and find more people to help us grow.
Nice, nice, amazing. Well, until next time, goodbye.
Thank you.